This high-level, strategic, advanced biohack for the burnt out and exhausted, I guarantee is not on your radar. And it's going to take a little bit of time to explain it in this video, but I'm going to explain a high-level hack that you're not aware of that once you are will help you in your exhaustion and fatigue, burnout recovery. And it has to do with putting all the puzzle pieces together, number one, which I've always said, which means in English, your mindset, your nutrition, your activity levels, your sleep hygiene, how you pay attention to your circadian rhythm. So many things go into that. And that's a whole other video on itself. But the high-level hack that I want to explain to you in this video is in some of the other things. Let's give an example. I have a good friend of mine who I used to work with, who I hadn't seen for a while, and he has some health challenges in his family, and I'm familiar with it. And one of the major things that I was explaining to him was when you are doing all these things to help and it's not helping, you get into a negative spiraling downhill thing, like one medication after the next, office visits, surgeries, procedures, medications, and then new medications, increased medications, taking off medications, and nothing seems to work, or just that person may be miserable. And that's where the genetic component is really key. You need to understand the genetic component. And one of the things, if you've never had a genetic test done, it's a saliva test. You can DM me if you have any questions on how to do it. We ship it all over the world. I've shipped it to Russia. I've shipped it to New Zealand. I don't know if that's opposites, but it's pretty far spanning, right? But anyways, one of the things that I know everyone has, if they don't even have a genetic test result, is they have to be aware of their recycling systems, like NAD, NADH, NADP, NADPH. It's a lot of alphabet soup for sure. And it's really not your job as the patient to learn that. And if you are, stop, because that is putting it all together. And until you stop that, you're going to continue to spin your wheels. That's an extra bonus in this biohack that I'm explaining to you. You need to stop that. But you also need to, I gotta cross the road here. You also need to implement the nuggets or the pulp and the juice from the squeeze from the stuff you would have researched. And that's what I'm teaching you now. And it has to do with that NAD, NADH, NADP, NADPH recycling. And those are kind of thermostats to your cells' communication to each other. It really is what it is. And telling the brain and the cells and the tissues and the organs that, hey, it's all cool or it's not all cool. And most of the time it's not all cool. And you're in a healing cycle that is not going to full completion. And what's happening is there's lack of cofactors, there's gene SNPs, there's other environmental triggers, and they're creating perfect storms of you not healing properly and you not re-signaling your signaling systems like NAD, NADPH. And what I find is, number one, is to lower the immune burden. Iron oxidation, donating blood, being aware of the foods that you're eating that don't have iron in it, maybe using nutritional products that can help mobilize iron if iron is your thing. But most of the time, assume guilty until proven otherwise. But there's also other things like mast cell activation, histamine production, and upregulations of histamine production, downregulations of histamine clearances. And all those things make it really difficult to go through those healing cycles. So I was explaining to my buddy, I was saying, hey, I know the challenges that you have here with that genetic thing that I've seen, and I would really suggest that you have your family member start on some NAD. And he was saying, well, she has major sensitivities, and if it has an off taste to it, she's not going to want to take it. And here's the biohack after this time that I wanted to explain. And I said, she's 100% justified in being very picky and very not flexible with taking something that's gonna potentially flare you up. Not to mention the pain and suffering and the lack of resolution she's had. But that is brain changing, especially if there's medications. Especially, like some of those pain medications can make you more sensitive to pain. And that is what happens is you go down that spiral of how the heck do I get myself out of what I've tried to do to fix it and gone horribly wrong. And that can happen both with nutritional, functional medicine and allopathic. But if it happens with allopathic and there's a lot of very hard like narcotics, it's not a good thing. So anyways, I said, no, part of her recovery is, you know, as me, the doctor, telling her like, hey, you got to recognize that although you're justified in all the feelings you feel, that all this process has changed your brain. It has. Your brain has these release of all these neurotransmitters, and you have these down regulations, up regulations, desensitizations, depletions, and bombardments, and just things being broken mechanically, that it's impacted your thought process. And part of you getting better is going to be aware of that and faking it till you make it and being on board. I know it's tough, and a lot of people are not going to want to do that, and shame on me for saying and judging that you should do it. I'm not. But as their doctor, I'm saying the ones that get better are the ones that understand that and use that as a tool. Like, okay, I'm gonna have that positive mental attitude. And that's the glue that binds everything together. Now, back to the NAD. She never even heard of NAD, and she is very sensitive. So what I told him is, I want you to use like a dropper. It comes in a liquid. And if you can just do like a smidgen of a smidgen of a smidgen of a smidgen of a drop, and that's it, fine. Your smallest possible dose. And if you can do a smidgen, a smidgen, a smidgen, and continually do that till no rush, but the open-mindedness and the positive attitude of, I'm gonna do it, and be open to it. That's the biohack. Two things. Number one is the NAD+. DM me if you want some more information on that. Number two is the mindset of being on board with everything that's going on. Hopefully that made a lot of sense. Take care.